So this series of tutorials is for my programming for the artist class, and what we're going to do is we're essentially just going to program a bunch of games, but before we do that we really need to cover the foundations of programming. Hopefully by going through all these tutorials it'll not only let you be able to copy code and understand it, but be able to sort of think logically to build your own little games. So we really have to go through the fundamentals of coding first before we can actually do any programming. So just bear with me, as the first group of tutorials is all basic fundamentals and logic. And also don't get too caught up in the terminology or what certain things mean. We'll eventually be able to cover everything, but it'll come at different times. So let's start off with just the basics of Unity. Here's the way my project window is set up. You can change the layout any way you like, 2x3, which is the way I have it, 4 split, which looks more like Maya or Max. I'm going to go ahead and just go with 2x3 until my project is right here on the side. Let's go ahead and right click in here and create another folder, and let's call it scripts. And in this folder we're just going to create a new C# script and call it test, and then double click it. So that opens up the MonoDevelop scripting window. Now, something I want to point out, I'm going to go ahead and close this just so we can see a little bit better, is the second you create a C# script, it already gives you all of this content. Alright, I'm going to hold Control and scroll in with my wheel, just so you can zoom in. I will explain what all of these things are eventually, what the usings are, what a public class is, and what these methods are. But for now, I want you to please be patient with me, because when we're going to do a whole video just on how to create your own classes, and when we get there you'll have enough programming background to understand what a class is. In this video I just want you to understand that these are called methods. You're going to also hear them called functions. But these, starting with void start, in between these two curly braces, this is a method. Now these are pre-made methods inside of Unity. Void start is a method that only runs once, but any code that you type within start will execute first before anything else. Void update is a method that any code you type inside of here, it'll repeat constantly. So let's start by writing our very first C# script. So inside of here I'm going to write the word debug, and you can see because it's a pre-made word that's located within one of these using classes, it automatically exists. So if you hit enter, it'll place that in there. .log. Again, I'm going to hit enter again. Open close parentheses, and then I'm going to put 2 quotes on the inside. And I'm just going to write hello from start. Then I'm going to hit Control S to save this. Now, all we did is we created something called a statement. Let's fix that. We created something called a statement. And this statement is located within a method, and the method is called start. Now, this is an object-oriented programming language, C# is, and Unity is very object or modular in its design. So for example, we created a script, but it doesn't do anything. We actually have to attach this to a game object to see our code run. So I'm going to go to File, Game Object, Create Other, and I'm just going to make a cube for now. In your scene view, if I hit F to focus, it'll zoom in on it. I'm really just going to grab my script and drop it on top of my cube. You'll notice that the script appears inside the inspector. If I press play, you'll notice down at the bottom it'll say hello from start. So it actually ran our script or our code, which is this right here. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to see another way of viewing what our output is by going to Window and opening up our console window. And you can see here it'll actually say hello from start. And what it says is, I use the command called Debug Log, which is located within the Unity Engine class. And if you look up here, it says using Unity Engine. Again, don't worry about this because we're going to create our own classes and we're going to import them in later. Alright, so like I said before, the start runs before anything else, and it only runs once. So let's check out what happens if we copy this debug.log and we paste it in our update. But I'm going to say hello from update. Let's go ahead and hit Control S and press play. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause this. If we scroll up to the top, what you'll see is this. Hello from start only runs once. And it ran before void update. So you can see here, update ran every frame. So you can see it continuously ran update until we paused it. So that's the end of this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about variables.